Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm Tom Christiano. Well, tonight is one of my favorite shows. It's our Academy Awards special. As all of you know, the Academy Awards are coming up in about 2 weeks. So every year we try to get together and talk about the films that we think should win or should lose, or the actors, actresses that should win or lose. So we have a great panel of these very, some have been in movies and everything here. We have Jack Neary with us tonight. How are you, Jack?
I'm well, Tom.
Jack is a playwright and he's an actor. He's also written screenplays.
No, I have not. You keep saying that.
Okay, come on. Well, you did. It just maybe didn't get made yet.
Yeah, it's at home in my desk.
Okay, but you've done a lot of things in the theater. Directed the music theater in Lowell. You did a great job with that for years. Mm-hmm. So
thank you.
You're an expert, I'd say, on movie. In fact, you've seen all these films, right?
I've seen them all.
A member of the Screen Actors Guild.
That's right. I was on the committee the committee this year. So they just sent me 70 movies.
Oh my
70.
God, that's fantastic. Did you have to send them back or?
No. You want them? Yeah, no. I'm not supposed to say that.
That's okay. No, you probably can't do that. But that's great, though. I'm so glad you. So we have an expert here. We have another expert with Scott Curlin with us tonight.
Tom.
Hi, Scott is a movie review. I know does a great job. Posts on the Chelmsford news page and your own website, I think, for movie reviews.
Curlin on Film.
And you're also the technical director at a studio in Wakefield, is it? Yeah. Nice. How many years you been doing that now?
Almost 5. 5 years.
5 years. And you love films, I think, as much as Jack and so many of us. And you've written screenplays too, right?
Yeah, I have about 5 written.
Wow, you're
Only
amazing.
3 are good.
Are you trying to get those 3 made?
We'll see.
Did you see Entourage? They had a movie made that didn't look too good to me.
Yeah, that was on my worst stuff list.
Yeah, right. I just saw it on TV the other night. Beautiful women, though. That's the only reason I watched it. I mean, they really.
What a segue.
Yeah.
And moving on.
Speaking of beautiful women, I'm so proud. We have Carrie Quinn Eckelkamp with us again. Hi, Carrie.
How are you, Tom?
Good, thanks.
Glad to be here.
And you've been in many shows too, right? You're a singer. You're an actress too, should we
Correct,
say?
yes.
You've been in some of Jack Neary's things,
some
right?
of Jack's awesome shows, and
nice. And you've done some things in the radio too, I think?
We did I had a radio show for a year on CAP,
nice.
Which was so much fun. Yeah, great. So now I'm just, trying to focus on a little bit of writing and, raising my beautiful children.
How many children?
And going to their shows now. It's kind of different, the tables are turned.
What grade?
I have a 7th grader and a 3rd grader and a little baby preschooler.
Really? That's must keep your hands full.
Oh yeah, I'm busy. I've only seen 1 movie. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen many
Inside
films
Out,
either.
and that's it.
I'm mostly the host tonight, but I do have one film that you'll hear how much I love that's nominated. I hope it's going to win Best Picture. Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks for having me.
And we have my good friend John Curlin with us again tonight for the 14th time on the show.
But only the first time on this.
First time on this, yeah. But you used to be on my Real Talk show, didn't you? Yeah.
Yes.
With Jack Neary. I think we had a movie review show for like 10 years. And John loves films too, like me, but I don't think maybe like your son. You don't see as many films as your son, Scott, right?
I taught Scott everything he knows up until 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And then it blew me away.
Yeah, Scott knows everything about film.
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
Amazing. And as everyone knows, John's the town moderator here in Chelmsford
right.
for how many years is it now, John?
Almost 2.
Almost 2, nice. How do you like it so far?
It's a lot easier than being a selectman, that's for sure.
Yeah. Not,
So
at least you don't have to
not
meet
bad.
every 2 weeks or whatever for one thing.
Right.
Well,
Every 6 months.
Every 6 months.
That's
thank
more
God.
my speed.
Yeah. Well, thanks, John. Is there anything else you want me to say about the
Well, I haven't
introduction?
written anything.
Yeah.
Other than in a high school play, I haven't acted in anything. So
But-
I'm the real, piker in this whole group here.
Well, I have to, but you might have written some things as an attorney, right? Don't you write briefs and things like that?
Those
I
are
do,
called
but-
wills, Tom.
Oh, wills, right?
I've written briefs, but they're not movie worthy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what, Curlin and
Grossman.
yes, right here in Chelmsford. If anybody needs a good attorney,
Thank you.
contact John Curlin.
I appreciate that.
Thanks. So tonight we're going to start. I'll let you know what the categories are. First we'll do Best Actor, then Best Actress, then Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, then Best Picture, then Best Director, and if we have time, hopefully, we'll get into the screenplays. But sometimes we get into film so much we don't get to 2 categories. No. But I'm going to try to make sure we get to the Best Picture, though, before the end of the show. I have my little clock right there. So, Jack, I thought maybe if we could start with you.
What would you like to know?
For the Best Actor nominees are Bryan Cranston in Trumbo, Matt Damon in The Martian, Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant, Michael Fassbender in Steve Jobs, and Eddie Redmayne in The Danish Girl. So, Jack, what do you think? Who should win and who will win?
I think who should and who will, at least from these nominees, is the same person. I think this is Leonardo's year. It's he's been winning other things, and it's a pretty impressive performance. I was kind of disappointed that Will Smith and even Michael Shannon from 99 Homes wasn't acknowledged in this thing. But I guess these
Shannon's best supporting.
but he's not though. Yeah, but he's not in the.
Not
he's not
nominated,
nominated.
yeah.
So I put him in this category here because I just wanted to mention him in the thing. But I do think this is Leo's year for the Reverend. I mean, he just he slept in that animal skin and he sweated and it was quite an
It was a
impressive
tough
performance.
shoot, I imagine.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
they talk about how tough it was?
Well,
they
yeah.
had to go to South America, I think, to finish it and everything. Argentina, maybe, or something. So,
I'm not sure. I saw I did. Cranston is fine in Trumbo. Damon is the perfect character for The Martian.
Martian, yeah.
Fassbender is fine. Is probably the only reason to see Steve Jobs. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I think Eddie Redmayne needs to do a movie where he swears a lot and sweats a lot and drinks beer and gets in all kinds of trouble because he's just playing the same kind of character. And I just was not blown away by Danish Girl. But I just think it's Leo's year.
yep. I certainly hope so.
Okay.
Scott. Thanks, Jack. What do you think, Scott?
It's going to be Leo, but I feel like it should either be Damon or Bryan Cranston. Cranston in Trumbo is like, that is one performance that I could watch all day. Like
Really?
he's so
Wow.
good in it, but it's going to be Leonardo DiCaprio. I was waiting for like an extra or PA to come out halfway through The Revenant and just hand him the award. Because,
Like the old Carol Burnett show.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the role, I like The Revenant. I think it's a very good film. But for Best Actor, I feel like you need to meet like 3 criteria. You need to act, which he acts like crazy. But the whole movie is talking like this. It sounds like Tom Waits. He's mumbling the whole movie. And, I thought it was a great performance, but Leo blew it 5 years ago. He should have won for The Departed. And he waived his right to be nominated, and he would have won. He would have beat Forrest Whitaker. He would have beat Ryan Gosling that year.
What do you mean he waived his right to be nominated?
He didn't think that he deserved to be nominated, so he opted.
says that?
What?
Who says that?
Well, he opted to get nominated for Blood Diamond instead, which
Oh.
Yeah.
is one of.
Good move.
It's a good movie, but it's one of
No,
his
it's a good
worst
movie.
performance.
No.
It's like compared to The Departed that year, he should have won that
Yes,
year.
yeah.
So I don't get behind the whole he should win this year because he had the
They do that a lot though, don't they?
yeah.
Well, but also The Aviator, too. I don't know if you remember.
Oh,
Leonardo,
absolutely.
He was fantastic in The Aviator. It wasn't as critically acclaimed that much, but what a performance playing Howard Hughes.
This is a
and
bit of a Life
crazy-
Achievement Award this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
that's
love
what
him out
I
there,
like,
and he's
though.
a nice guy.
I like that.
He should
He
have
deserved. He's been nominated, 5 times?
5 times. This makes 5. His first performance was in What's Eating Gilbert Grape,
Which was great.
He
was like
should have
17
won
years
that
old.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Martin Landau won.
Yeah.
Oh, he was good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember that. Leonardo was about 17 years old, playing
Yeah.
kind of a slow child or something.
Yeah. Too much oxygen to the brain.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so what a body of work, this guy, which you'll hear me
Yeah.
talk about maybe later. But thanks, Scott. So you're going with Brian. Well,
I'm going
you
with
think
Leo.
Leo's going to win, but you'd like to see Bryan
Oh,
Cranston win.
absolutely.
And who knows? The awards aren't here yet, so you never know.
No,
You
Leo's
have a
going to win.
chance.
He's gonna win.
Leo's going to win.
He has a Golden Globe already.
Yes, yeah. Carrie Quinn
Well,
Eckelkamp.
I have to say Leo now, don't I? I just said he's going to win. I love Bryan Cranston. I think actually all 5 of them are fantastic actors.
Yeah.
I would like to see Eddie Redmayne. I didn't see The Danish Girl, but I would like to see that performance. I'm sure it's awesome. I really liked Matt Damon. I mean, he carried that movie. He's got the brains, the body, the everything that I just think is compelling to watch. And it was, there was humor in there. As far-fetched a story as it was for me, it was, I really had to suspend all disbelief in that. But I thought he did a fantastic job, and I will say I'm surprised that Johnny Depp was not nominated
Yeah, in
our
the beginning,
friend's
when
movie,
that film was made,
Black
Jack was
Mass.
in Black Mask.
Yes, we went
Everybody
to
was
the
thinking this is
premiere,
going
you
to be
know.
his Oscar nomination for
He was
Johnny Depp.
He was great.
And the film kind of faded away pretty quickly, didn't it?
Well, Scott has a response to
Okay,
that. You know, it was too early. It was, you know, probably president.
yeah, early in the year,
I think
right,
a month and a half later, he's still in the running.
Also, they didn't market it correctly. They marketed it more as a crime thriller. It's more of a biopic.
Yeah.
And it's more of a period piece, and that's how they should have marketed it.
I think if it were a better movie around him, I don't think it's a strong movie. If it were better, I really think he was terrific, and he was scary.
So scary.
He was like evil personified.
Actually,
But you were great in it, Jack.
I
Yeah.
was fantastic.
I can't wait to
I
see
taught
you.
him
I
everything
thought he
knows.
was nicer than people said he was, because like the first 45 minutes, he's scary, but he's like the nicest guy. He takes care of his mom, takes care of his brother. He's
But I
like-
also think that's a problem with the movie in that they were going out of their way to show us how he helps people with groceries and stuff. And then, you know, I didn't quite buy the movie around him. Anyway, we should probably not talk about Johnny because he's not even nominated.
I know. I'm sorry to bring him up, but I just loved him in that.
Thanks. So you're picking whom to win?
I'm going to say Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I just want to be different.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Ain't gonna happen. But that's
Good to
all right.
have courage. Yeah, it's like, John Curlin, Best Actor.
Well, I agree that Matt Damon was amazing. He carried. I mean, the movie was him. That was really 85% of the movie was Matt Damon, and he was just remarkable in that movie. And certainly, maybe if Cranston and DiCaprio weren't up, he would be a shoo-in, but they are. And I mean, everybody's saying DiCaprio's going to win it, so maybe it is a Lifetime Achievement Award. I don't
a way
know,
it is,
but you know, sometimes you know in advance that there's going to be a certain winner for a certain category, and I think we'll all be shocked if it's not him. So, and as a disclaimer, since Scott knows so much more about movies than I do, if I say somebody else, I really mean whoever Scott said. But
All right.
you know.
so he's
good to
going
know.
with Eddie Redmayne.
No, well, didn't Redmayne win for?
He won
Theory
last
of-
year.
Yeah,
Last
so
year,
They're-
Yeah.
they're
stay
comparing
home.
him
He
to
needs
Tom
to stay
Hanks.
home this year.
yeah.
Does
He'll
Matt
have the
Damon,
best
did he
dress
ever
there.
get an acting Oscar? Yeah, I know he got the
Last year.
No.
screenwriting.
Eddie Redmayne?
No, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
No, he got.
I know he got many
he
years
got one
ago.
for Good Will Hunting, but
Good
that
Will
No,
was.
Hunting.
that was
Screenplay.
for screenwriting.
Well,
Right,
he's
but not
Matt
acting.
Damon should get it eventually because he's a great actor. I mean, I think in some of the films, even
Yeah.
the Rounders.
At least for the Bourne
everything.
trilogy, you know.
The
I'm just
Bourne,
kidding.
He was, no, he was great in those.
He was,
I'm so
but-
glad he's coming back, as I'm sure you all know. Is
The
Bourne.
person who I feel should have been nominated that wasn't was Michael B. Jordan for Creed.
Yeah.
He should have been
I heard
nominated.
he was
That was
great.
one of my favorite films, and that should have been nominated. I'm not going to go into the whole controversy,
Yeah.
but that film should have been nominated.
Yeah. Well, my pick, and it's not just because of Lifetime Achievement, is Leonardo DiCaprio, because I saw
This
The
is the best
Revenant.
movie you've ever seen.
One of the best movies I've ever seen. I absolutely loved it. And well, I won't mention I had to go to the bathroom, whatever, in the middle, and I still didn't go.
You won't
just
mention
did.
it though.
No, I won't mention it, but I didn't want to miss a second of it. I mean, I was so engrossed with that film. And there are many films that take place like in the wilderness. This is supposed to be like 1823 in Wyoming or something. But this, I really felt like I was there with Indians shooting arrows at me and shooting guns at you, and then bears attacking me.
You saw the 3D then.
No, I didn't see it in 3D, but it seemed so realistic to me. I don't know why, but it was so visceral, I guess. Is that a right word, Jack?
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't
good-
know.
I
Wait
think
a
it's
minute. And so it was so well done. We'll talk about the director later because I'm a big fan. So I love this film, and I love Leonardo DiCaprio's performance in it.
There you go.
He had to do so much in those 3 hours or whatever it was. But I also am of the opinion that you also kind of look at a lifetime body of work, like with Denzel Washington or all these people. You look at, did they ever win an Oscar before? No. Has he been nominated before? Yes, 4 other times. Does he deserve it finally to win an Oscar for acting? Yes. So this is his year, as I think some of us have been saying. He's already won, what, the Golden Globe and
The
a bunch
SAG.
of other awards. SAG,
Yeah,
Screen
he won
Actors
the
Guild,
Critics' Choice.
Critics' Choice.
Yep.
So if he doesn't win, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do if the camera's on him and he doesn't win.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be fine,
Well,
but he will win.
He won't
But
be
I'm-
Cam Newton.
No.
Cam Newton,
Oh,
I know,
man.
what a sore loser. But yeah, so that's my big thing about the acting. We'll talk more about the movie later. But now maybe if we could start with Scott with the Best Actress Award. We have Cate Blanchett, again being nominated, this time for Carol.
Yep.
We have Brie Larson, who is nominated for Room. We have Jennifer Lawrence, nominated for Joy. We have Charlotte Rampling, who is a person who's been in the theater for many, many years, and I don't think she's ever been nominated previously.
No, this is her first.
First time, and 45 Years is the name of the film, which I haven't seen it yet. And Cerise Ronan, who is nominated for... Saoirse, I'm sorry.
Saoirse Ronan.
Who's a great actress. I mean, I remember her in another film, but Brooklyn, she's nominated for this year, which has gotten a lot of acclaim. I haven't seen it yet. So, Scott, who do you think is going to win and should win for Best Actress?
Since I saw this movie, the person who should and will win is Brie Larson. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. It was number 2 on my list. One of the best performances I've ever seen from an actress. Yeah. Like, there's a scene at the end of the movie, which I can't really go into it because I'll give like everything away, but there's a scene at the end of the movie where they talk about her and what's going on in her mind, and it's explained by her son, and they just show a visual of her looking up, and you can see all this pain and agony in her face, and that's what won her, will win her the Oscar. She's won the SAG, Screen Actors, Golden Globe. She won the Critics' Choice. She's won all of the Indie Awards. She's gonna win, and she deserves it.
Yeah, that'd be great. I just saw her on Jimmy Kimmel last night. She's been on a bunch of talk shows lately, and she's quite a good talk show host, guest. I don't know if you ever see her on.
She's been acting since she was 12.
And she was in that movie with playing the sister of the comedian there.
She's in Trainwreck.
Trainwreck, yeah, she was good in that too. Okay. Jack, Neary, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I like Saoirse a lot. I love Brooklyn. It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Wow, I got to see
I think Rampling's movie is interesting and if a little slow, but I thought Tom Courtenay was just as good as she was in that. Huge Jennifer Lawrence fan, but Jen's doing fine. She doesn't need another Oscar. And Cate Blanchett is also just a terrific actress, but this is this is like Leo. This is Brie's year, and A Room is such an amazing, and I don't use that word too often, an amazing movie.
Wow,
that she and Leo can make plans right now, I believe.
Nice, yeah, I hope so.
But I do like Saoirse. I do like
Yeah, Brooklyn was a good movie.
John?
Well, I'll go along with everyone else on Brie Larson. The problem with the movie is that it was in such limited release that a lot of people didn't get to see it. Around here, it was in Waltham and Peabody, or something, right?
Waltham and Liberty Tree.
Liberty Tree.
Really? Is that all it played around here?
Yeah.
It's in Kendall Square, but
wow.
It's been sold out since it came out in November, so good luck.
Why don't they release it to Lowell then to give it a chance, do you know?
They're going to release
After
it
she
probably
wins.
after she wins.
I
Because that's what they did with American Beauty.
Oh, okay, good. I love the American Beauty.
Me too.
Yeah.
So I'll just go with Brie and
Yeah.
keep it nice and short so we can get to the
some
more
of the other-
controversial ones.
Yeah. And Carrie?
Well, I need to see Carol, and I need to see Brooklyn, and I need to see The Room. So I really don't know. I mean, I love Jennifer Lawrence. I always think her performances they're great. She just seems so cool and very comfortable. You know, that role wasn't, the greatest or toughest one to tackle, I'm sure, for her, but there were a few moments that I thought, she really deserves to be where she's at.
Yes.
But I will agree with Brie Larson because it sounds like that's the woman to beat this year.
Yeah.
I mean, she should
And
have
it
gotten
sounds like
nominated long ago.
It sounds like a tough movie to watch. I'm sure it was sad.
It's incredibly
Very
hard to watch.
Yeah,
sad.
that's what was concerning me about the subject
So,
matter
yeah.
of this film.
And now, what about Cate Blanchett? I mean, all the trailers I've seen for Carol, she just seems so reserved. And does
That's
she
what
ever,
the movie's
does she
about.
ever
Yeah.
let go at all and
No.
kind of lose it, or it's just the same?
No, she's terrific, but I mean the movie requires her to be
Yeah,
reserved.
just-
She and
I like roles where
Rooney.
you can really just kind of let go and go
well, she let
crazy
go.
and break
Was it last
things.
year or the year before when she won for the Woody Allen movie?
She won 2 years ago.
Yeah. Kate
No.
also will be fine. She'll be nominated every year.
She's fine.
Every
Yeah,
year.
I don't
for
know.
Well,
Well,
she's going to be nominated 3 times this
Probably
year.
going to get nominated next year because she's playing Lucille Ball.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
she is?
Yeah.
She was also great in. I thought I really
curious
loved
to
that
see
Truth,
that.
which just came and went. The
Yeah.
Robert Redford movie.
Oh. but
She's in that too.
For what I heard, though, it wasn't really true. It's totally distorted.
Everybody has
But-
different
You
opinions.
think The
It's a-
Revenant's
it's a very
true? It says inspired by true events. It doesn't even say true story.
No, well, Well, anyway.
Anyway.
But
Who do you like?
well, here's the thing. I'm like you. I didn't see many of these films. I did see Jennifer Lawrence in Joy, and her performance was, again, outstanding. But I'm the kind of person, though, that once you win an Oscar for an acting category, and there's somebody else who's great out there who's never won one, I wanted to give it to the new person. I hate to say it, but I like to spread them around. I don't want somebody to get 5 Academy Awards. Like,
Can I send this clip to Meryl Streep? I just
I
want
was
to know.
just thinking that, but
no, I feel that way too. I think
No
it should have been
way.
spread out.
always Meryl.
No. I think you'll be like a
Always
little
fair.
league manager who lets everybody play.
I guess, man. But
Trophies for
believe me, they
everybody.
put in a lot. All these actors, how many didn't win? The great actors and actresses over the years.
Edward G.
Kate
Robinson,
Blanchett is
Cary Grant.
Yeah,
Tough.
and Kate Blanchett, she's already won how many times?
She's won twice.
Twice.
And how about Jennifer Lawrence? How many times
Once.
she won?
Once.
Okay, so they have their Oscars. So
She's 24.
and she's 24, I know, and she was amazing. Like I said, now I do watch a lot of clips and previews, so I could see Brie Larson. I read all about it. I see her on all the talk shows. So I'm a big. I hope she wins. I mean, yeah, I love to see somebody new. She's kind of young, and in fact, she talked about the struggles to break in. You know, she couldn't get a part because she didn't have blue eyes. They kept saying, "You don't have blue eyes. We're not going to let you in our movie." So it took her so long to break in. She moved to Hollywood, I guess, as a young person with her mother trying to break in.
She worked on Disney Channel for the longest time.
The longest time, yeah.
And she could only get like these like iCarly TV shows,
Yeah.
which was terrible. And then she broke in with a TV show called The United States of Terra, which was created by Diablo Cody, who did Juno.
Yes, yeah.
And that's how she got famous. And man, she should have been nominated 3 years ago for a film called Short Term 12,
Oh,
and where she plays a social worker. And that was actually the year that Jennifer Lawrence won.
oh, I see.
So-
Yeah. But I like her a lot too as a person. I think she struggled. I think apparently she's a great actress. I can't wait to see this when it comes out. Maybe after she wins the
Bring
Academy
the
Award, it'll come to
tissues.
Lowell. And so I would think she probably will win it. I hope she wins it. But I'm not really. I shouldn't be judging because I didn't see them all. But anyway, I will anyway.
I know.
But so why don't we start with John Curl, and on the next one with Best Supporting Actor, Christian Bale, who is perennial nominee, I think, winning a lot of nominations, in The Big Short, Tom Hardy in The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight, Mark Rylance in Bridge of Spies. That was a Steven Spielberg
Oh
film,
yeah,
was it? Yep.
such a good movie.
I know it's good, but it didn't do well in the box office. And then Sylvester Stallone, who is one of the favorites in this category, Creed for this. He plays what, the old Rocky?
Yeah, he plays old
He's
Rocky.
Rocky.
Oh, Rocky. Yeah, Rocky, and I didn't see
He is
it, but-
Rocky.
He is
Yeah, right. So, John, what do you think of Best Supporting Actor?
Well, I guess that Christian Bale will probably get it, only because he's Christian Bale and
Kristen Bale.
Christian.
Christian, yeah.
Christian. Sorry. And I mean, you know, his portrayal of Dickie Eklund in The Fighter was absolutely spot on and amazing. I enjoyed Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight. I thought he was just terrific, dealing with the struggles of his background and discovering all of this information about a church from which he really, you know, that was his roots. And Sylvester Stallone, I mean, it's so easy to discount him. At least he won. What did he win? The People's Choice or the Golden Globes? What did
He's
he
won
Golden
everything.
Globes.
Yeah.
He
won the
he's
Golden
lots
Globe?
of- yeah.
I just can't be too impressed with Sylvester Stallone playing the same character that he's played in like 47 movies.
Oh, this is a Rocky like you haven't seen before.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen him in this one,
Yeah,
but
it's
he's still
impressive.
Sylvester Stallone.
But he's playing Mickey. He's playing Mickey.
Okay, so I'll go with Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, great. Thank you. Carrie?
I love Christian Bale too, and he just is amazing in everything he does. Mark Ruffalo I thought was really good, understated, and just great. I really like to watch him. You know, and normally I'm such a Michael Keaton fan, and I found myself really, you know, watching Mark Ruffalo even more than Michael Keaton in this. I thought he was fantastic. Sylvester, I need to see Creed, so I really can't say about Sylvester. Tom Hardy's great, but I haven't seen The Revenant, so I don't know. So I'm going to go with Christian Bale as well.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Scott?
This is the hardest category this year. I mean, all the other acting categories are kind of evenly weighed, but the two, it's between Christian Bale and Sylvester Stallone. They've won the most awards, and it pains me because I would love to see Mark Rylance win for Bridge of Spies. His performance of all of them is the best.
Wow.
I liked Mark Ruffalo. I liked the whole like mouth stuff that he's doing the whole movie when he's like trying to judge someone. That to me like was a great performance, because in Spotlight there's a scene where him and Michael Keaton are yelling at each other, and Michael Keaton isn't talking very loud, he's talking like this, and Mark Ruffalo is screaming at him, and it's like a battle of wits, and that's why he got nominated, that's why he should win, but he's not going to. And it's going to be Christian Bale, because Christian Bale, they're pulling a J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons won for Whiplash when he was a lead actor in that movie. He was the lead. He was the lead of that movie, and they nominated him for supporting,
Yes.
and he won. Christian Bale is the lead of The Big Short, and they're nominating him for best lead, for best supporting.
Supporting, yeah.
So he's probably going to win, but I would not be surprised if Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
But my money's on Christian Bale.
Yeah, thank you. Jack?
I pretty much agree with almost everything that Tom said. We just wasn't crazy about Mark Ruffalo, but I'll just keep out of that argument. When I saw Bridge of Spies, I left that theater saying, I have never seen anything like what Mark Rylance did in that movie.
Wow.
Because I didn't know how famous he was in the theater. I should have had, but I thought I love Bridge of Spies a lot. I thought it was one of the better Spielbergs in recent years. But he was the best thing about it. And until I saw Creed, I thought he would be walking away with it. Not a big short fan, so I'm going to stay away from Christian Bale. And he's already won it for Best Supporting. So the thing about Sylvester Stallone in Creed is he could have mailed it in. He's done Rocky 8 times, I think. And what he managed to do was take this character that he created, 40 years ago, and brought it to its conclusion in a very, very moving, real, honest, heartfelt fashion. And I kind of think that might carry him through. I don't know, I just can't get into the Christian Bale thing. So I do think Mark Rylance earned it. I think he probably gave the best performance of anybody in here. But I think sentiment plus performance, I think I pick and they pick Stallone.
Yeah, thank you.
We need to see Bridge of Spies.
Yeah,
It's
I
on-
know, it sounds good.
On DVD now.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
very good. It's very, very
So
good.
good.
especially,
I didn't think it was going to do well at all in the box because of the subject matter. It's a Cold War, right?
Well, it's
Subject
about the,
matter.
yeah,
I
it's
thought,
about-
who wants to go see that in these days? And it didn't do that well.
That's
in the
another one
box
with
office, right?
Peelman's in it.
It just
Peelman's
didn't
in
seem that interesting to me these
Oh.
days, but I guess it was.
If you grew
though,
up
right?
in that era, which I
I
did, and you
did,
did,
yeah.
it was terrific.
I have to disagree with Jack. I think Tom Hanks is fantastic in that movie.
What did I say?
You said that Mark Rylance was the only good performance in that
Oh,
movie.
I don't mean that. Tom Hanks is terrific. But, yeah.
But I was shocked
I
that
love
Tom
the movie
Hanks
a lot.
was not nominated.
Yeah.
But Mark Rylance steals that movie, and that is
Every time he's in the scene, it's just
like
he bursts out of
he
it.
should be terrified because they're gonna hang him. They're gonna shoot him for being a spy. And Tom Hanks is like, "Aren't you worried?" And he's like, "Should I be?" Like
It was really
that's like his retort to everything in that movie. And that is a film that no one saw, and it was so good, and it was a great performance. But I gotta go with Jack. Like, it's gonna be between Christian Bale and Sylvester Stallone. And Sylvester Stallone, I never thought he was a good actor. Dad, you used to take me to see Demolition Man, and if you were to tell me in like 1994 that the man who was in Demolition Man would probably win an Oscar, I would tell you you're crazy, but he's so good.
Well, I think he learned something in his 40 years in the business, and I think he learned how to act, and I think he pulls it off here. And he didn't direct, he didn't write, he was just an actor, and I think it made all the difference.
Yes.
And just to correct Scott, it was Judge Dredd. It was not.
Nice.
They came out 2 weeks apart, Jack.
I'm just kidding, Scott.
He's a
Well,
worker.
I did see The Big Short with Christian Bale, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And Tom Hardy in The Revenant, who
Oh, I
was
like
great,
that.
by the way. And when I was seeing the film, The Revenant, I didn't know that was Tom Hardy, who I saw him in
He's
some other
pretty
films.
amazing, this guy.
He really subsumes
He's a great
himself
actor.
in the role so much, and he played this ruthless guy. So what a performance! But I guess nobody's
Can I
picking
ask you a
him.
question? Did he remind you of Jeff Bridges in that movie? He reminded me so
that
much
I
of.
thought of it.
He reminded me of Jeff Bridges
Yeah.
from Wild Bill
Oh, okay.
when Jeff Bridges played Wild Bill
Oh,
Hickok.
yeah.
And he scared me. Like
Yeah.
Tom Hardy was scary in that movie.
Tom
What a-
Hardy was terrific, and I
He
think
was
in any
terrific,
other year
yeah.
he would be talked a lot more.
Yeah.
But with Stallone and Bale around, it's just.
And Tom Hardy's not winning any awards thus far, I guess, right?
For Mad Max, and that's in like all of the action categories
Yeah,
for like
yeah,
the
but not
Critics'
for
Choice.
this, The Revenant?
No,
I guess
he works
he's
too
not
much.
Yeah, right, he does.
he had
So-
4 movies last year.
Yeah,
Wow, amazing, but
One in which he played 2 characters, right?
Yeah,
that's
Wow.
5 movies.
yeah, he's
that's 5
something.
movies. Yes.
He's an English actor too, right? Isn't he, or something?
Yeah, he's English.
Great
He's from
Britain or something?
Wales.
They're all English now.
Eddie Redmayne, right? So he was good in that, but apparently Tom Hardy won't win. Now, I hate to say this about The Big Short because it sounds pretentious, or whatever, but don't you hate it when people say, I read the book and the movie wasn't as good as the book? And I'm about to say that because I read the book and I loved the book. It was fantastic. And I'm afraid that they really distorted it in this film. So I wasn't a huge fan of the film because I know how good the book was. And then they accentuated, for example, the drum playing. And who's that? The other actor in there who was in the Daily Show all the time, and Steve
Stephen
Carell.
Carell.
And he wasn't that big in the book, and they make him, and it was like he makes tons of money, but in the movie it's like, oh, I didn't really want to make those billions of dollars. The Stephen Carell character. Remember that?
Yeah.
At the end he felt bad about making all this money? Give me a... So I'm not a big fan of the film, right?
It just made me feel stupid. I had no, I mean,
Oh, the film,
I
oh.
know nothing about money,
Oh,
so I
okay.
just
Oh.
I gave up about 15
I like how
minutes.
they tried to dumb it down for like people, and they're like,
They couldn't dumb it down enough for me.
wait,
So-
Margot Robbie in the bubble bath drinking champagne to explain finance.
I might have gone to the bathroom at that point. I have
So,
no idea.
so I think with the screenplay, the way they took this book, I think they made some mistakes. However, most people disagree with me on that because the director is nominated for Best Director for The Big Short. It's nominated for Best Picture, so a lot of people really loved it. But I'm glad it brought out some explanation of the financial crisis, which it did in a kind of superficial way, and that's okay. So as far as Christian Bale's performance, he's one of my favorite actors, as you, Jack, and you probably know from the Real Talk Show. I love Christian Bale as an actor. I think he's outstanding. And he was outstanding here. However, I didn't like this part. I didn't like him playing these drums really loud and just... So maybe he'll win. I don't know. But he also won 1 or 2 Oscars in the past, right? How many did he win?
One. He has
okay.
1 for playing Dickie Eklund.
Dickie Eklund, yeah, which was great. So, getting back to the spread it out. However, Sylvester Stallone hasn't won an acting Oscar,
No,
right?
he's won
He
a
might what's good.
Producing it.
And you know what? In Rocky, he was really great. I mean, it's a superficial.
You're talking about the
entertainer.
original?
The original,
Yeah.
the first one. It's a Bane one I like to think about. And then First Blood or whatever. Remember that? It's a stupid film, I guess,
Rambo.
away. But what is Rambo? What are performances he's given over the years in many of these films? So, yes, he sounds terrible sometimes, he sounds stupid, but I think he's really a good actor for what he's trying to portray.
Where do you see this? Where do you see this?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I didn't see this yet. However, so for sentimental reasons, I hope this is his year, and they're finally going to give it to Sylvester Stallone, as he did in the Golden Globe, right? He won it. And I know they have a bunch of categories there, spread it out,
Yeah.
the Golden Globes. But I'm glad. Remember, he got a standing ovation. I think,
Yeah,
when he won.
but this could be a whole repeat of when Mickey Rourke was nominated for The Wrestler. Everyone thought Mickey Rourke was going to win.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they had a sweeper with Sean Penn. Sean Penn won for Milk.
Yeah.
But Mickey Rourke should have won. And that's what I'm thinking.
Yes,
That's what I
yeah.
think is going to happen. I think Christian Bale is our Sean Penn and Sly is our...
But
Yeah.
isn't there a lot of sentiment involved? And is Christian Bale in any way, shape, or form as popular as Stallone is out there?
right
I
now,
don't-
he's way more popular.
No, I mean popular by like we like him. We like him as a buddy, like they like Leonardo and they like Tom Hanks and stuff like that. I don't mean
no.
popular.
No, but in the
'Cause he's better
acting
than all of us.
community, he's
Yeah.
like Olivier, man. They
Oh,
really
great.
respect him as
Well,
an
he's
actor.
good. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's
dedicated to his
amazing.
craft.
Remember a few years ago when he lost his temper?
Oh,
and
yeah, but
remember
that-
it was a,
But that was Terminator Salvation.
yeah,
Like, if
he
you were
got
making
so
a,
mad about somebody walking in back of him on the scene. Remember that?
Oh,
It was
yeah,
something-
sure.
But I'm glad it faded away though, because everybody gets angry once in a while. But anyway, so I'm going to go hopefully with Sylvester Stallone, even though I didn't see it entirely. But
yeah, you know.
But anyway, as with all these things, because I'm not like Jack and Scott seeing all these films like I should be, but
Well, he's the Screen Actors Guild,
Actors Guild,
and
yeah.
I'm the Critics Guild.
Right,
so-
right,
so-
yeah.
I came here to get all the information.
Yeah,
That's why
me
I'm
too.
just taking
Me
notes.
too, and John. Well, Carrie, we didn't start with you yet, did we?
Let's start on a category where I haven't seen 4 of the performances.
Okay.
My vote for Best Supporting Actress, anybody but Rachel McAdams.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
Wow,
the
controversial.
Well, why is she even nominated? What was in that role
It's
that
a
was
popular
so
movie.
meaty that she knocked it out of the park and deserves to be
Is
nominated?
that the one you saw?
That's the one I saw.
Okay. Well, let me.
And I don't think it's worthy of an Oscar
Well,
by
the-
any means.
Yeah, the nominations
I think
are
they just needed some.
Let Tom do the nominations then.
Oh,
Then you
yeah.
check-
Jennifer Jason Leigh in
Yep.
Hateful Eight was one of my favorite actresses, by the way, for a long time.
Yep.
Jennifer Jason
I
Leigh.
haven't seen her in a while.
Rooney Mara in
She's
Carol.
Cute. She's cute.
Rachel McAdams in Spotlight. Alicia Vikander in The Danish Girl, who I think she's beautiful, by the way. And Kate Winslet, who's
They're all
also beautiful. Yeah, and
It's
Steve
not a question
Jobs.
of beauty.
And Steve Jobs.
That's
So-
Charlotte Rampling. Oh.
So what do you think?
I'll say Kate Winslet. 'cause I
Kate
like
Winslet.
her.
Okay. John, your thoughts on Best Supporting Actress?
Thank you.
Well, I only saw Rachel McAdams, so it's tough for me to say. And
What
she
do you
was-
think of her performance?
Well, again, she was actually more conflicted than Mark Ruffalo because her grandmother was a devout Catholic and they were going to church at least once a week, and she was learning all these things. I think it was an okay performance.
Yeah.
You know, is it Oscar worthy? I don't know.
But she also felt like she was exploiting the, her interviewee, I don't want to say the homosexual gentleman.
Yeah.
She felt like she was exploiting him, and that's where her conflict came in, and that's why she was nominated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
So
I had to see
thank
the
you.
movie twice to pick that up.
Okay. I mean, the font of all knowledge, my son tells me that Alicia Vikander is going to win for The Danish Girl. So I will defer to his superior knowledge in this area. She's been in a lot of things.
She's had 3 movies this year, or 4.
Yeah.
3.
So 3 or 4?
3.
Ex
Ex Machina.
No, she was in a robot in one, so it didn't count.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Ex
Yeah.
Machina, which is what she should have been nominated for. Man from U.N.C.L.E. and now this, Danish Girl.
Yeah, she's the one.
So
yeah.
I'll go with Alicia.
Alicia, yeah. Jack?
Oh, yeah. I'm going along with Scott's argument here in terms of the lead character. I mean, Alicia Vikander is the Danish Girl. I mean, she is the title character in the movie, and she's in it as much as Ed Redmayne. So I think she probably should have been nominated up here with the best actresses.
Rooney Mara, too.
Rooney Mara, yeah, exactly. I do think Alicia will win. I think, if I'm looking at this category here, she would be my choice as well. Although I really did buy Jennifer Jason Leigh in The Hateful Eight.
She's so good in that.
She has a speech. She gets dragged along through the whole movie, and there at the end she has one of these Tarantino rants. And when that was happening, I said, oh yes, this is why she's been nominated for this thing. And you talk about people being dragged through the mud in The Revenant. Where do you see this thing?
Oh my God.
So I mean, if I really liked her a lot, and it would be so much fun if she won. I think, but I do think that the Danish Girl is going to get an Oscar, and I think this is the one that's going to get it for, and I think it will be Alicia in this category.
Yeah. Speaking of The Hateful Eight, which is a Quentin Tarantino film, which I'm usually a huge fan of, I didn't see this yet, but it didn't get great reviews. It didn't do great in the box office. What's wrong with
Well,
this
he
film,
pissed off
Jack?
the cops. I shouldn't say that. He
I
annoyed
remember that.
he annoyed the cops just before it opened, and
Down in New
they
York.
this boycott. I don't think that really made that much difference. I think the movie made the difference in terms of why. First of all, it with
3.5 hours.
the selling was it was 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
Even now
oh
it's
my
2.
God, yeah,
What the
3.5
version that's
hours,
left
boy.
now is like 2 hours and 57 minutes, something like that. That's the problem. And as far as the movie is concerned, we're not going to talk about it any other time, are we? As far as the movie is concerned, I just think I thought I was going to recommend if anybody wanted to, so to me, to bring a little can of paint and a little brush and put a brush and paint a little thing on your seat and then watch that for the first hour and a half of the movie, because that's what happens in the first half hour of the movie.
really?
That's my opinion.
disagree.
He disagrees.
I
But
disagree.
I thought it kicked in about an hour and a half into the movie. As far as I just thought there was just so much writing going on, so much talking that didn't need to happen.
That's
The
what he
Hateful
does.
Eight is Tarantino's take on John Carpenter's The Thing. that's why Kurt
Well,
Russell
John
was cast.
Carpenter's The
That's-
Thing was the same thing. It was also
well, yeah,
over.
But
yeah.
but now it's a cult classic.
Is it really?
Yeah. Oh my God. There's
But how about the original Thing? That's a real cult classic.
what?
The original
No,
Thing.
I'm just kidding. No,
Oh,
I know what you meant, but
Oh, good.
but no one really remembers The Thing
No,
from
no.
another planet.
No.
This is why the two leads are Kurt Russell and Sam Jackson. So you have white actor, black actor, and they're buddies and they get along. The whole movie is The Thing. That's all it is.
I
It's
thought
the
it was.
thing.
I was feeling Stagecoach a lot of the way. A bunch of people thrown together into one thing
Right.
on a trip, and then thrown into this room. I just thought it was really the more indulgent than
But
he usually gets.
the entire musical score is Ennio Morricone's
Morricone,
not
yeah.
used score for The Thing.
That right?
That's what half
See, I
of
didn't
the
know
score
any.
is. Yeah.
It's still. I still. It took me an hour and a half before I cared about what was going on.
So, Jack, you felt that Jennifer Jason Leigh's sort of monologue at the end was what sort of sold you on this?
Well, that's what clinched it for me. I just thought, but I'm not picking her. I do think.
I mean,
Alicia's
I
gonna
felt the
win.
same way.
Alicia,
David
yeah.
Carradine's his whole little speech at the end of the Superman speech at the end of Kill Bill 2, where
He
where
does that.
Yeah, he does. He just happens to write some good stuff.
Oh,
that,
he does, he
That
does.
can make an actor look really good.
I'm watching Pulp Fiction again, right, on
Yeah, well,
Netflix, little by little, and his writing is just so great. I just can't turn it off sometimes.
I know.
But that's why I'm surprised about this. But I will see it eventually. I'll see all of these films when they come out on my Netflix or whatever, and I will see them eventually. But so I'm not going to really give an opinion here. on
Has
this.
Scott done his?
No, he has not.
Scott, and then me. Yeah. Okay.
What? What's going
I'm,
on?
I'm hosting the next one.
It's gonna be Alicia Vikander, and
Well, he
it's
did
exactly
speak for a while, so-
it's exactly like what Jack said. They have to give an Oscar to the Danish Girl. I don't like the movie. I was not a fan. I thought that it was it missed its mark, but she's the best thing in the movie.
By far.
She's the only reason to watch that movie. And she's probably going to win for it. I want to see Jennifer Jason Leigh. I mean, Jennifer Jason Leigh is having
I'm
a
glad
great
you liked
year.
her too. Yeah.
She's having a great year. Did you see Anomalisa?
No, I have it at home now.
Oh, she's so good in that. She's great in this. I would love for her to win. Originally, they were predicting Jennifer Jason Leigh to win. They thought this was going to be her year. But it's going to be Alicia Vikander. She's won everything else.
Oh.
And Ex Machina doesn't hurt her either in terms of its
That's
popularity.
Yeah.
what should have been
yeah.
nominated.
Well, for sentimental reasons, I would hope that Jennifer Jason Leigh wins. You remember Single White Female,
Yeah.
of course.
Sure.
Remember that? What a performance. And many other
Fast
films
Times.
over the years.
Fast Times at
Fast
Ridgemont
Times
High.
at
Yes,
Ridgemont.
in like 1983 or whatever,
Yep.
starting then. And she's a really quite an accomplished actress, I think. But I'm not going to give an opinion on this because I didn't see any of the films.
Oh, my God.
But I love a lot of these. Like Rachel McAdams, I think she's beautiful, right? As you
Oh,
might have
she's
mentioned.
gorgeous, sure.
Remember, what was it, Mean Girls? Remember that?
Oh yeah, she was in
Oh,
that.
she was-
I liked her in a film called About Time, where Domhnall Gleeson, who's in Brooklyn and The Revenant, plays a time traveler, and he uses his powers to fall in love with her.
I see.
And
yeah.
she's so good in that.
She's really quite an actress. Wasn't she in Red Light too?
Red Line.
Red Line.
Red Eye.
Red Eye. Yeah, and she was great in that. But
Is she in Creed?
What?
Is she in Creed?
I don't know.
Who is the wife in
Oh, she's in Southpaw.
Southpaw? That's the
Southpaw.
one. I know. That's the one. But
White Creed.
yeah, Southpaw. That's a movie that just went away.
Oh,
but I
yeah,
liked that
yeah,
a lot.
I
I
did.
liked it a lot.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh. Well,
She was in a fight movie.
now we're going to have plenty of time for the Best Picture
Wait, okay.
nomination. We have, 8 nominees this year? They can have up to 10, right?
They
I
should
think?
have done 10.
Should.
If they did 10, then Creed and Straight Outta Compton would have
That's
been
what I was going
nominated.
to say, yeah. They could have,
They nominated Straight
So
Outta
why don't
Compton. It
they-
would have solved some of their problems.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah.
nominated Creed, it would solve all of their problems.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Both
So
of
why
those.
do they choose only 8? Because I know a few years ago they decided to bump it up to 10. So why don't they just stick with 10?
Creed, there's a stigma to it because Felicia Richard is in it, and when she was on the press tour, she plays Michael B. Jordan's
Yeah,
mom.
yeah.
She defended Bill Cosby.
oh,
So you think that really hurt the film?
Oh yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
jeez.
Yeah, it's that
Okay,
superficial.
All right, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, maybe next year we'll have 10 films again. I don't know. But so
they're
this year
going
we
to
have
now.
8. And Best Picture nominees are The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight. So from what I said, I think it was a pretty good gathering of Best Picture nominees. Jack, could we start with you in this category?
Okay, well, as I already told you, I didn't really know what was going on in The Big Short, so we won't even talk about that. I really, really loved Bridge of Spies. I'm a huge Spielberg fan, and it's one of the better Spielbergs, certainly in recent years, probably one of the better Spielbergs
Since
ever.
Munich.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a terrific movie.
Wow.
I thoroughly enjoyed Brooklyn from beginning to end. It has a feeling for the period like no other movie you're going to see.
Wow.
And,
It's a love story, right?
Yes, it is a love story.
It's
I
a
think.
triangle.
Yeah, I had a little trouble with not trouble with the
Oh,
ending. The
yeah.
ending is a little lame for me, but it's a beautiful, beautiful movie to watch. So well performed by all the leads, especially Sergio. It's a terrific movie. Mad Max, I had to watch in increments. I'm not a huge Mad Max fan, and I'd watch it, and I'd watch it through the first fight, then I'd watch another chase, then I'd watch another fight, then I'd watch another chase.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Not a big fan,
Sorry.
but
You love it. You love it.
you
It's
can-
his fault.
you can, you can tell it's a very well-made movie, and certainly interesting to watch and fantastic to watch. But enough with the chasing and the grunting. I just
Yeah.
and the Rust-Oleum should be should produce it.
Yeah.
Martian was a fun movie. I thought I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think it probably opened a little bit earlier than it needed to do to stay in contention. I think it's too nice a movie. It's not that special enough a movie to win. Revenant, especially coming hot in the heels of Birdman. The director of Birdman, who directed this movie, this action movie in the backstage of a theater, comes back and directs The Revenant, and that's to me an astonishing accomplishment. How do you pronounce it? Inarritu?
Huh. Alejandro González Inarritu.
Inarritu. Well, I got the last part. The Revenant's a very, very, very strong movie, and I think in another year might have had a chance. No, it definitely has a chance. I think it's right up there in contention this year, even though Birdman won last year and Inarritu won last year. Spotlight, I think, has the best chance at this point, and I don't know why. I was not a huge Spotlight fan. I think it's All the President's Men light, really light. Maybe because I knew so much about the subject matter. Maybe because the subject matter to those of us around here is so familiar, and we've had it drummed into our heads so much that it didn't really move me that much. It didn't seem to me to be a terribly impressive examination of. Maybe it's because I auditioned for 3 times and didn't get into it. Maybe that's what it
Maybe
was.
that's what
But
it
it didn't blow me away. I think the most exciting movie of the year, and the one that has a really good chance, if there's a sweep and another, if she wins Best Actress, is Room. Room is a very impressive, moving, surprising, startling movie that really deserves this kind of consideration. I have a feeling it's going to be Spotlight, maybe The Revenant, but my choice would be Room.
Thank you. Thanks, Jack.
There you go.
Scott, Best Picture?
I think it's going to be Spotlight. Revenant is right on its tail, but I agree with Jack. I want Room to win. Spotlight was my #1 film of the year. I loved it. I actually sat behind a few of the writers from the Boston Globe who were involved in what was going on during that, and I got to interview them. So that might have swayed my judgment because I interviewed them at the same time. But Room, that film is so good, and it hits you like right here.
I read that they give standing ovations after the film, and many of the
Sundance, there was a 20-minute standing O.
Wow.
Yeah, and at the Toronto International Film Festival, when
And people were crying, I read.
she was, when Brie Larson went on stage to win her award, people were crying. There was a standing ovation.
Wow.
And
God, we
yeah,
need to see this.
it's such a good film. It's not going to win. It's not going to win.
No, well, not enough people have seen it. perhaps?
Not enough people have saw it. I don't think that it has enough momentum to win. Revenant will probably be, the one to beat between that and Spotlight. So
I think it would have a better chance if had Birdman not won last year. Don't you think?
if Birdman didn't win, then The Revenant would win.
Absolutely.
But I think Spotlight's going to win, and I think that Inarritu will probably win Best Director.
That's interesting.
I mean,
You
because
don't think Tom McCarthy will win?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I would like him to. Actually, I want Lenny
For
Abramson
Spotlight. Oh, he's-
for Room. I mean, what they did with Room was amazing.
Yeah.
They built the room about this big.
And it was incredibly tiny.
And they had compartments, so
Yeah.
they had the camera underneath it, filming at different angles, or coming down. So
Did you read how Brie Larson didn't go out in sunlight for like 3 months?
No,
so
yeah.
she could look pale? You
and
must have read that.
her and the kid stayed inside, and they had arts and crafts, and they spent like 6 hours a day with each other.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Spotlight.
Great, thank you. Carrie?
All right. Well, now I really want to see Room. That sounds so good to me. I thought The Martian was excellent. It definitely kept me, on the edge of my seat as much as I was surprised he stayed alive, obviously. I thought that was a little far-fetched. But, it kept me interested, and his performance was fantastic. I thought it really moved me, especially at the end. When she, I got him. She said it was just
Oh, you
really.
gave away the
Oh,
end.
stop!
Lying,
Everybody
he
saw the
dies.
Martian.
Yeah, they spent 2
I
hours
just-
and he doesn't get back from
Yeah. Well, I just thought he was jacked. I think he deserves to win because he looks good with his shirt off. And I really liked also, I thought Spotlight was great. It was tough to watch, though, but I feel like it only scratched the surface. It really didn't. It didn't get into it as much as I would have liked. You know what I mean? I think but it's such difficult subject matter that it's not, it's not easy. But the performances were fine.
Thank you.
But let's see. I want to see The Room.
So The Room.
But
and then
and everybody's
This
talking
room.
about The Revenant, The Revenant this, The Revenant
It's
that.
important to just call it Room.
Because there's
Room.
there's
There
a
is a
bad
movie, The
indie
Room.
film
I
called
know.
The Room.
No, but,
Yes,
but,
I
no,
know.
but it's significant in terms of the story and everything. It's you got to see this.
I know I do. Well, I thought you were going to mail it
It's
to
a
me.
double entendre.
No,
Oh, maybe.
Room is, they have a secret language, the mother and son. They have like that Nell language.
Oh.
They have a secret language, and they call Room, that's their way of saying home.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ew.
Oh.
thank you, Carrie.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Best Picture, John?
Well, you were talking, Tom, about how The Big Short, you read the book and the movie was not as good. I read the book in Martian, and it was as good.
Really?
There were a couple of things they had to leave out for time purposes, but it really conveyed the whole. You also have to understand that The Martian is heavy science. It's like science, and there were times when I was reading the book and I said, "Oh my God, how much science can I read?" but I enjoyed it, and there was a lot of science. The thing that got me about The Martian was in the Golden Globes, it was in the best comedy category.
Yeah,
Because
no,
they
have
rigged
this-
it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's humor in it, but there's humor in a lot of movies
wasn't
that
a comedy.
it was not a comedy.
Did
They
you hear
just
what
did it-
Matt Damon said when they asked him? They're like, how does it feel to be nominated for, best comedy musical? Is it a comedy? And he goes, no, it's a musical.
With no music in it.
Well, no, they played a lot of
There's
disco.
a lot of disco.
Yeah, they played a
Oh,
lot of
it
disco.
just-
And
Yeah, the
David
background.
Bowie's on that soundtrack.
So I really like The Martian a lot. Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the original Mad Max with Mel.
Yeah.
This gets back to that, just like the new Star Wars movies gets back to the original spirit of Star Wars. So that was good. But I never thought any of the Mad Max movies was Oscar worthy, and I know that I'm going to get some flack from.
You showed me Road Warrior when I was 6.
Oh, I did not. Stop it.
Okay, I was 8.
Oh, cut it out. In any event,
But yeah, is it Oscar worthy? Is it Best Picture?
I thought Spotlight really, for the subject matter and in trying to convey how much power the church had in Boston and what they had to overcome and what the victims of this abuse had to overcome, because who's going to listen to these people? Not only have they gone through the trauma of abuse, but they've also gone through the trauma of nobody's believing them. And it almost was like a crime thriller movie. In other words, something's going on here, and how are we going to solve this problem? And I just really thought that Spotlight, in my mind, and again, I did not see The Revenant because my better half would not go see a movie where a bear mauls
I
somebody.
told you I already saw it.
You're not my better half. You're better than me in certain things, but you're not my better half. So I'm going to.
You're gonna go with Spotlight?
I'm going to go with Spotlight because I also think that the subject matter was important enough for the Academy to say, you know what, this was an important story, it was an important message, and certainly the ensemble cast that they had was outstanding. So
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Spotlight.
Thanks. Well, our time is running short, so I'm just going to go to what I think is should win is the Revenant. As I mentioned earlier, I think it's one of the best films I've ever seen. It was so realistic, so earthy, so visceral, so well directed, so beautifully acted, nice cinematography, great special effects. So I hope The Revenant wins this year. And we only have a minute left, but for director, I hope this Alexander Inarritu or whatever for The Revenant. I hope he wins Best Director. Jack, who do you hope wins Best Director?
The Room.
Oh, Room, the Room guy, yeah.
Lenny Abraham.
Lenny, who do you hope Best Director?
I want it to be Lenny, but it's probably going to be Alejandro Gonzalez.
2 in a row?
Let me ask
Probably.
you something. Let me ask you something about his nomination, because he got a lot of criticism for the conditions in which
Who are you talking about?
Inarritu.
Inarritu, yeah.
Yeah, because they were I mean, some of the actors and the people who worked on the movie were getting hypothermia. The conditions that he had them working under were just unbearable.
He said they looked too cold.
So I'm just wondering if that's going to have any impact in.
Maybe those actors won't vote for him.
But I don't know. I don't know.
I just think that the fact that he won last year might work against him, but maybe not. It might go to Tom McCarthy. Who knows?
I thought this was a much better film. I think I wrote to you, right, about Birdman got a lot of acclaim last year and all this stuff.
I love Birdman. Well, maybe you had to be in theater. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, but this I loved. And so, Carrie, Best Director, you have any thoughts on?
I really like Alejandro's name.
Alejandro, yeah.
He likes Josh's name.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
No, I honestly, what do I like the best in that?
Oh, that's
But this guy.
Lenny Abrams?
Absolutely.
Abramson? Okay.
for Room, right.
Oh, he's going to sweep it.
And John,
Well,
Best Director?
only because if Spotlight doesn't win Best Picture, I certainly want Tom McCarthy to get Best Director. I think that for him to convey this story in a way that he did was and to keep it moving along was very impressive.
But he does have a stigma against him. He made The Cobbler with Adam Sandler this year. So that was one of the worst films of the year.
I know you
So
hated
bad,
it.
I haven't even
How did he
heard
get
much
this job?
about
Is
it.
my question.
He made this film first.
But how did he even get that job? What had he done before?
Tom McCarthy, he
Yeah.
made The Station Agent, The Visitor.
He made a station agent.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So-
I didn't know because he was a TV actor, right, for a while.
For the longest time, he was a
Yeah.
TV and theater actor.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw him interviewed recently talking about
He was on
that.
The Wire.
Yeah, on The Wire, yes. He's quite an actor, too, from what I've seen. But you guys are quite actors. So, any quick roles? You get any other roles coming out, Jack?
No, I don't. I'm
Movie
sorry.
roles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anybody else?
I'm going to have a bulky role. That's what I'm.
Well, thanks for participating. It was a lot of fun, and I wish you all the success.
I just
with all
did
your-
a play with. I wrote a play for. Remember NYPD Blue?
Yeah.
Remember Gordon Clapp? He used to play Metavoy on that thing. Anyway, he won an Emmy for that. So I just wrote a play for him, and we just did it up in Vermont. We're probably going to do it next year.
Fantastic,
That's the
Jack.
best I can
That's
do.
wonderful.
That's the most I can come up
A
with.
lot of your
Yeah.
plays have been tremendously and well received and done well. Thank you, Jack, for being here. Thank you, Carrie.
Oh,
Quinn
sure.
Eckerkamp.
Thank you for all the knowledge, and I look forward to seeing the Oscars.
Me too, and yeah, that's
Definitely.
right. About 2 weeks. That's
Great
like
night.
my Super Bowl.
Oh, I
but
love
even
it.
though I do,
I do
love
love
the
it.
Oscars.
Me
And, oh
too.
my God, how could people not watch this stuff? I don't know, but I love it.
I know.
I love it. The Golden Globes
I love
too.
it.
I love the Golden Globes. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Tom.
Great job. Thank you, John. Great job.
Well, my only contribution to this show was Scott. So
Oh no! You had
Good job. Good job.
good contributions, and thank you for the wonderful camera crew, Tom and Meredith and Larry, and our director, Pete Padula. Thank you very much. If you have any comments on the show, please send me an email at tcristiano@comcast.net. I hope to see you at the movies. Ciao.